world. It's me, Julian Venables, London Astrologer, and I'm here to give you your weekly almanac for May the 12th to the 18th. This is the week that Jupiter, the king of the gods, the most luckiest planet, the great Fortuna, the great benefic, it moves into the sign of Pisces, which it traditionally rules. So it's like Jupiter billowing a large sail on a ship, blowing into a safe harbour of Pisces. This is going to bring very good things and a lot of protection to people as well. So it's going to be a nice vibe. You know, it's a good week ahead, or a good couple of months ahead. So let's look forward to that. So let's start with Wednesday the 12th of May. We have the superb opportunities of Mars being in sextile to Uranus, Mercury in trine to Saturn, and Venus in quintile to Neptune. These are three very good aspects, and because it's Mars, Mercury and Venus, these are all relationship oriented personal planets that make for an excellent sort of selection of things to happen. So Mars is the planet of action and drive and competition. That is currently in the Crab. So it's in an emotional, watery sign. Mars heats up the water. It creates a lot of emotions. And when it's working well with Uranus, then which is currently in Taurus, then there is an inward and receptive feeling to making changes in some way, maybe quite a strong motivation to move forward. Not necessarily seen outside of yourself, more an internalized feeling of I can get on with it, I can do this, I can break through, I can make new things, I can do a sense of awakening myself to push forward with something because I've got a feeling to do it. So that's kind of like Mars in sextile to Uranus. We also have Mercury in trine to Saturn, and Mercury is in its own sign of Gemini at the moment, and that is very witty and fun and lively and chatty. And Saturn is in its own sign of Aquarius, which is, working hard at social order, restructuring things, thinking about the future, being innovative, but working hard to take responsibilities for that. So Mercury in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius is serious thinking, quite serious planning, good ideas, clever ideas, and intelligent ideas. Given some weight, given some gravitas, given something for the future to think about. Venus is also in quintile to Neptune. Now quintiles could be considered to be the magic aspect. It's quite rare, it's not talked about that much. When it comes around, quintile is a 72-degree aspect. That is to say, there are 5 quintiles inside of a circle. 72 degrees, 5 times 72, so it's the 5th harmonic aspect. So 5 72s is 360, which is the circle. So Venus does this magical aspect, and Venus resonates with the number 5 as well. So because Venus is the pentagram, is the 5-pointed star. So Venus is currently in Gemini as well, just moved in there a couple of days ago. And it is making this magic aspect to Neptune. Now, that is also indicating something very special, like a kind of just a nice sort of affinity with relating and maybe the mass consciousness or the collective mind or the dreaming. Because Neptune's very dreamy and illusory and transcendent. Also quite easily deluded, unfortunately. But there you go. Anyway, Venus in Gemini is like how to be charming, how to be the social butterfly in the garden that flits around and does many things. Venus is answering all the things on your calendar socially. Get involved, meet people, hang out, meet new people. Relate to them through lots of chit-chat and conversation. It's a good time to do that. The summer is building up. This is great. So, overall, I would say about Wednesday the 12th of May is to take intuitive action, to move forwards with innovative and practical projects that awaken other people. A sympathetic and caring person is on hand to listen. I would also say communicate your intelligent ideas constructively, knowing that innovation requires work which you are willing to do. So it's fun to be committed to this particular project, so be serious as well as clever. And know that you have the talent to manifest some magic in your life. That is to say, you can attract and persuade others because you can get away with it today. So all this is building up for Wednesday. Now, that then leads on to late on Wednesday and early Thursday is the Sun in sextile to Neptune. Now, the sextile is a good aspect. It means the two planets are listening to each other. They are able to see each other in such a way that they can hear each other. So the conversation and an affinity can be created. The Sun is in Taurus. That's productivity. It's taking things quite slowly sometimes, but it's appreciating things as well. And if Neptune is that super spatial, heightened emotion, sort of all at one, merging and unifying thing, then it's a good day to be reliably productive and sustaining what you've started. It means you can meditate upon the real concerns that you have. So, being calm and centered, you'll sense the energies in people around you, and you'll become aware of others' needs and more willing to help them. It's easier to receive their input. A two-way flow between you and others makes for a satisfactory means of self-expression. It's not about huge physical activity today, it's more about an inward and receptive understanding that can improve your spiritual well-being. When you communicate this to others, so you help them too. That is the Sun in sextile to Neptune, which, as I said, is late on Wednesday, very early Thursday. So that brings us to Thursday, the 13th of May. And now that is the day that Jupiter, I am so glad to say, as a herald, Jupiter enters into Pisces. Fantastic. So, this is the planet that is the great luck, the great fortune in astrology. And it's in its own kingdom. It's entering its own domicile, its place where it's the most familiar, the most comfortable, and therefore this is exceptional news all round for everybody. So, start to have a good look at all aspects of your life and ascertain where you can spot something bigger, something better and more bounteous. So, this is a time of expansion in inspirational projects. Think about that for a minute. Can you take the opportunity to be the enchanted visionary, or do you know one? You can expect an aha moment where the whole shebang comes together. Either way, use the next few weeks to reflect sensitively on how you can evolve creatively. Jupiter will be going back into Aquarius, an air sign, for a few months in July, before it returns to Pisces again at the end of 2021. In fact, December the 28th, 2021, the end of this year, Jupiter comes back into Pisces. So, what is started now, in the next 2 months, will bring lucky rewards in 2022. Okay. That brings us to nothing much happening on Friday, because we'll all be enthralled with Jupiter, I hope. But Saturday the 15th of May, we have an interesting aspect, maybe not so easy. Mars in an inconjunct to Saturn. Now, these are the two malefics, or the two challenging planets. Mars is, splits asunder, creates schisms in things, can be a difficult planet to deal with. Saturn makes things very heavy and weighted. So, this is what I would say about Mars in a difficult aspect. Quite mild. It's a mild aspect, okay? So it's, maybe just a little bit problematic, nothing major. But taking indirect action will result in reaching your goals. But it will also drive a wedge or separation with some people who can get moody or sulky. It's clear you are developing outsider-like peculiarities, but some people can't stand the innovation or reform you are aiming at, and they can't be satisfied. So be wary of frustration and awkwardness in your interrelations. Let today ease off a bit before having another go. That brings us then through to Sunday and on to Monday, the 17th of May. Now, this is a really interesting one because this has actually been building up, and in fact, it's building up now as we speak now. I mean, this is going to be building up for a few days, and it peaks on Monday the 17th. And in fact, just so you know, all these aspects in the Almanac, what you get is stuff that builds up over a couple of days It reaches its peak points, which is when I write about them, so those are the dates I'm giving you. At the peak, it's like climbing the mountain, you get to see the peak at the top, and then you have to walk back down again. And the ascent is usually longer than the descent. So that is to say, the aspects are building up over a few days, like climbing a gradient, climbing higher and higher up in altitude, if you like, or effect. And then you reach the peak, the effect is at its peak, and then it drops down very quickly afterwards. So I'd say give 2 to 3 days to each aspect to build up, 1 day to drop off. Okay, and that's how to do this in astrology. That is the key to really experiencing the magic and using these, what should we call them? Angelic portals, interdimensional possibilities, quantum pathways, transits. That's what we call them in astrology. So, you know, we've got all these different things, okay? So, Monday the 17th of May, all right, building up, starting to build up now though, is the Sun in a trine, which is harmonious, to Pluto, the planet of power. So, intense and powerful experiences make you more aware and conscious of your inner workings and true motivations. This is a good time to deeply scrutinize and investigate the changes you need to make. If you bring about efficiency and structure in your organization, you will feel satisfied. Your productivity and endurance can make a powerful impression on someone influential at this time, but do not get involved in power games or selfishness. It is important instead to use your creative potency and intensive strength to help evolve far-reaching changes. Pluto is a long, slow transit. It's been in Capricorn now for 12 years, and it's got about another 2.5 or so years to go. And so when the Sun meets Pluto, you know, it's doing a good aspect this time around. You know, in a couple of months' time, it'll be doing an opposition. You know, so it's about working out when the times are good and when the times are not so good for approaching things. It's a good time to really exert some of your power with respect to Capricorn, because that's where the power is. Okay, so that's about organising, efficiency, business, work. Of course, the 2020 lockdown stopped everybody from working. You know, that was the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. But we're waking up again now, and we're realising, you know, we're able to do more things again, and as a result, it's Sun trine Pluto. Okay, so it's like, actually, you know, I could have totally changed my life in some way, rejuvenate, regenerate, think like that, and good things will happen. Okay, so that brings us to Tuesday, the 18th of May, and we have Venus in sesquiquadrate to Pluto, and Mars in sesquiquadrate to Jupiter. Okay, so this is Venus and Mars, both in aspects. Okay, the sesquisquare or the sesquiquadrate is tension. It's actually it's a long word. It's a complicated, slightly mystical word, but we like these in astrology. You know, it gets the mind thinking a bit. So a sesquiquadrate is actually, technically speaking, is a square, which we're probably familiar with as a tension-based aspect, and a bit extra. So it's a square and a half a square. Okay, so it's not 90 degrees of the square, but it's 135, which is 90 plus 45, half a square. So it's a square and a half, and it's called sesquiquadrate. So Venus in sesquiquadrate to Pluto, powerful relationships, but tense, see? And Mars in sesquisquare to Jupiter. Action must be taken. Big action, but how? So, relationships can take a bit of a hit today, all right? Because there are unstable energies that result in making changes. So, express a lively charm and attractive style, even though it's incongruous, that is to say, it doesn't match, with a self-controlled and status-oriented situation. What needs to be explained is that you have a purpose for this light-hearted and witty approach, which is the Venus in Gemini at the moment, which seems to find resistance from an authoritative or cautious type of person. You're acting lighter than usual, why is that? Someone might say. Look out for situations like that. You know, it's a mild aspect again, by the way, but it's interesting. So, with the Mars to Jupiter, then emotions are heated, because Mars is in the crab at the moment, that emotional sign. So the crabs is a crab, it's got pincers, and it's going, you know, tension heated, You know, it's like, crab being protective. Crab protects itself like this, looking each way, boom, boom, pincers, you know, so Mars in the crab, in sesqui square to Jupiter, you know, which is now moved into Pisces. So it's a very emotional connection, because Mars is in a water sign, Jupiter's in a water sign. Oh, it's feelings, emotions, reactions and responses. So emotions are heated, and action is taken suddenly, without due care or attention. Someone is trying to give comfort and hope to the stricken. Oh, I'm so sorry. And they get an unstable response from a moody or overly sensitive person. Oh, well, you can see the drama behind that, right? So look out for a situation of that nature. Tuesday the 18th of May. So that brings us to the end of this week's Weekly Almanac. I do hope you enjoyed that. Do please share this to your friends, tell other people about it. Get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or join me on Instagram, or follow me here and there, and Twitter, and all the rest of it. And it's all on my website as well. And this is on my YouTube channel, which is Julian Venables, London Astrologer. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. And you'll see me again next week. So wishing you all well. It's a marvellous springtime, growing into summer. Fantastic. Life is good, really. When everything moves into Gemini, it should be fun. So keep the spirits up, and see you next time around. Take care all. Bye for now.